Hello and good day. Welcome to our video channel, God's Promises. And today's video will be a fast, concise overview, Book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 26. Let's get started now. The 26th chapter of the Book of 1 Chronicles continues with the organization of the temple service. It starts with a list of the divisions of the gatekeepers, who were in charge of guarding the entrances to the temple. The gatekeepers were organized into 4 groups, each responsible for a different entrance. These groups were led by Meshelemiah, Obed-edom, and their descendants. The chapter then describes the divisions of the treasurers and other officials who were in charge of the temple's financial affairs. These officials were responsible for collecting the offerings and managing the temple's resources. The treasurers were divided into 2 groups, one responsible for the dedicated gifts and the other for the freewill offerings. They were led by Shelomith and his relatives. The chapter also lists the duties of the Levites who were responsible for the service of the temple. They were organized into various divisions, each with its own specific responsibilities. These included the musicians, who were responsible for leading the people in worship with their songs and instruments. The musicians were organized into 24 groups, each led by one of the sons of Asaph, Heman, or Jeduthun. The chapter also lists the officers who were responsible for the administration of the tribes of Israel. These officials were appointed by King David to assist him in his duties. They included the chief officers and the officers of the army, who were responsible for the military affairs of the kingdom. One interesting figure mentioned in this chapter is a man named Shebuel, who was appointed as the chief officer over the treasuries. His name means, God has sworn. And this may indicate that he was a man of faith and integrity. The teaching application of this chapter is that God cares about order and organization. The detailed lists of gatekeepers, treasurers, and other officials show that God values the proper administration of his house. This is also evident in the organization of the Levites and the musicians, who were responsible for leading the people in worship. As believers, we can learn from this chapter that God desires that His church be properly organized and administered. This includes having leaders who are responsible for overseeing the affairs of the church, including financial matters and the organization of worship services. We can also learn from the example of the gatekeepers, who were vigilant in guarding the entrances to the temple. This reminds us of the need to be watchful and alert in our service to the Lord, guarding against anything that might threaten the purity and integrity of the church. In conclusion, the 26th chapter of the book of 1 Chronicles highlights the importance of order and organization in the service of the Lord. It reminds us that God values the proper administration of His house, and that He has appointed leaders to oversee its affairs. As believers, we can learn from the example of the gatekeepers, treasurers, and other officials who were faithful in their service to the Lord. May we also be faithful in our service to Him, using our gifts and talents to bring glory to His name and advance His kingdom. Thank you for visiting us today. Please share with us your favorite Bible chapter below in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help our channel grow. Looking forward to see you back here for our next video. Always take good care.